Part one video on the popped balloon, my honest thoughts. Of course, there'll be a reaction video coming. My name is Jordan. I go by Jorcation, of course. I think it's quite obvious why I go by Jorcation. I love to travel to over 20 different countries in the world. I can name them out in another video and give you guys videos and all of that kind of stuff. But I was recently on Pop the Balloon. If you didn't know that, you can see here. Yeah. And my experience, it was okay. I believe that I'm in a place where I can say how I feel about Pop the Balloon. Of course, like there are some things that are like contracts and all different things where, you know, if you want to discuss certain things, you might not be allowed to. I don't know, but like for the most part, it was a great experience. Unfortunately, I didn't go home with my person. I would have expected to go into the show, go into the lineup and, you know, experience, and I would have expected to find my person, but unfortunately I didn't. So this is the video to give you guys some form of reasoning to why I believe I didn't find it, my thoughts on my experience, not just everyone else's. And yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, keep it quite short and just straight to the point. Pop the Balloon. I was in a cast. I was standing. If I'm honest, I do have a type. I would say in terms of type, it's more so to do with career aspirations, your work ethic, stuff like that, your personality, you know, just how you move and conduct yourself outside of just the normal things that you might get up to, whether that's just even just work, like your personality outside of that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that isn't just snobbish and rude, doesn't just have all of this, like, I would say, doesn't raise the bar so high, but tends to, you know, just be down to earth, basically. I don't know if that makes sense, what I just said, but honestly speaking, like, I pretty much know what that person will probably be like and envision what that person will probably be like, just based on those kind of tips there. So if you don't get it, it's completely fine. But my personal opinion, going on that show and expecting to see my person, unfortunately I didn't, and that's one of the reasons why I popped. Of course, like, I believe, like, even from the first person that came out, I was expecting that to be a relationship or some form of love journey, if that was to keep the balloon open, not popped, and, you know, potentially explore that. I wouldn't have really seen that to work long term. Of course, like, the age was one thing, which I didn't necessarily have an issue with walking into that scenario, but it kind of became one when I kind of realized that, you know, sometimes when you're talking to somebody that is a lot older, there's a lot of things that could be quite challenging in terms of just maturity levels, whether you believe I'm mature or not mature, and just different lifestyle things that I don't really want to go into right now. But those are things that could lead to me feeling like, okay, this might not work in a relationship. I didn't want to waste that person's time. As the age wasn't that massive, I believe she was like 27. I was 25 at the time. Knowing that I was going to be 26 very soon, in a few months, 2-3 months from the filming, I was like, okay, maybe that could work. You know, but of course, like, physical attraction as well. Was I physically attracted to her, honestly speaking? No, she wasn't my, like, she didn't make me feel like that was my person based on how she was dressed. Maybe it was her hair, I'm not too sure. I went through the comments, I saw a lot of people commenting on her braids and all of these different things. You know, I feel like sometimes people, they might not do the right hairstyle for them, and of course that can dictate how people view on, you know, the media, not on YouTube, just like I did. I went on the show wearing jeans and all of these different things that don't really fit for that kind of environment if I'm going to be taking someone out to a dinner date. But I had an you know, goal behind it. Of course, I wanted to go out to maybe somewhere where we could dance, or like a club, or I don't know, disco, rollerblading, something out of the norm that people tend not to do on first dates. That was my goal, and that's why I dressed the way I did, because I knew that if I had to put on roller skates or ice blades, winter wonderland, whatever, we could do that. Throw on a jacket, get in a car, we could have gone straight to the date. That was the goal. But of course it didn't go that way. That first person was a older lady. She seemed great. She was a primary school teacher, don't get me wrong. She seemed lovely. I would say, of course, like, sometimes when you're getting to know somebody, there are certain things that you might pick up that they do, whether that's baking. It might fit your pleasures in terms of what you really like. I mean, I have a sweet tooth right now, if I'm honest. I've got some chim chim here. I don't know if anyone knows what chim chim is, but of course I wouldn't really say that's more like a savory thing, but it is quite nice. I like to kind of snack sometimes, and I would have been, if I was to be in a relationship with her and it would have gone somewhere, I do feel like I would have been spoiled for choice. She was the type of person I was going to bake, if I'm honest. And also, like, I always picture, what she is and what her personality is like outside of just hearing the surface level things. The surface level things to me would have been what she said, basically. She's primary school teacher. Well, I wouldn't say she's surface, I'm saying what she told me and what, like, in order to get past that, to kind of get to know her, like, what I'm hearing from her was, like, the first things, like, just the first things. I don't know if you want to call that surface level, but, like, that was really what I assumed first, and I just wasn't, like, fulfilled. The next person that came was, I believe, I can't remember what her name was, I think Maya, was it Maya? Moral story is, she was wearing a great dress. She came out, like, she looked stunning, honestly, by the way she was dressed. And I think she caught my attention, honestly, and I was even shocked because, like, I mean, I wasn't expected to even see anybody. After seeing the first two girls and the way they were dressed, I was like, okay, like, do you know what I mean? Then I saw her come out, I was like, oh, yeah. She knew what she was coming here to do. She knew what she was coming there to get, whether it was me or the fella that got her. She came with an objective and she left with the mission was completed. Yeah, so, but moral story is, what she was saying was good, it was interesting. Initially I was going to pop, of course. I did see that, I don't know if she had a plaster on her leg. I saw that, picked it up, then wasn't bothered. All of that stuff was out, like chest, whatever, out. I don't really have an issue with that either, of course. The tongue piercing, saw that as well. Those things, okay, I mean, it could be painted in a certain way. I'm not fussed by that. I mean, I'm not in a position to say you can't have that as my girlfriend or my wife or whatever it might be. Of course, it's completely up to you. You can dress how you want to dress. But of course, I was in a position where I could choose whether I wanted to be with her or not be with her, and I decided I wanted to be with, or try and see if I could be with her, and of course I couldn't. Long story short, that ended in me getting packed based on my questions. From the looks of it, I don't think I really caught her eye in that sense, because she would have probably asked me those questions, like, where would I take her on a date, on the first question, which I feel like is a bit, like, you got to let me kind of decide that. You got to let me plan something. Like, why would I take, I'm competing to take her on a date. I'm just like, wow. When she told me that, I was like, wow. Like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I already know what it is. But of course, like, I'm being recorded. I can't just be like, yeah, but because you're asking me when I go on a date. No, I'm going to complete the mission. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to keep going. More of the story is, if she went home with me, we would have gone out to Gabbana show today. Wish I could just play a video of his concert. It's a movie. Congolese artist, amazing music, nice guy. He was also on the show, but I don't know why I seen that made a cat. But yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, she was a nice person in my personal opinion. Next person was, I believe her name was Hope. That is one person I do remember because I saw her prior to going on the show. Now, I was asked this question a lot of the time. I was asked this question a lot by a lot of family friends that had watched it. Not just on the scale, but like family friends asked like about me even being on the show. Friends, old friends, old friends popped up to me. A lot of people popped up to me. It's a bit crazy, and they saw me, which is quite funny. And like, people said there was a misconception of like maybe what my type was, and if I had a type, because it just seemed like my type was the girl that came before her with like the dotted dresses. Because I was the only girl that I really kept the balloon open for, and she popped to me. But the Hope girl was seemed nice. Obviously, when I first got there, I saw her, and I just didn't really like the interaction I had with her prior. So I was like, I was just respectful enough. I didn't want to just say anything disrespectful. But then I heard that she said something on TikTok by the person next to me. I think his name was it's Magnus. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't know the name. I'm just not like sorry. Um, if that's what you're saying, just apologize up front. You know, what I mean, I don't, can't remember. I'm not great with names. I ain't doing that. You know, my sorry is. I heard that she had made videos on Transport for London. Of course, like, I'm contracting for Transport for London. So even hearing that from somebody else's perspective is like, wow. I mean, it was such a coincidence. I popped the balloon, and then someone else is saying that you're making videos on social media complaining about a company that I work for. That would be an instant. But fortunately, I'm not even on TikTok like that. I don't really spend much time on social media, if I'm honest. I do like Instagram a lot. Like, Instagram is my favorite social media platform. I'm on there like every other day. So it's like, if you want to contact me, you already know where to go, or LinkedIn. But yeah, that's the reason why I popped Hope. She was a great looking person, of course. Like, don't get me wrong, she's very pretty. Every single girl that came on there is pretty. Just not my personal type based on that interaction. I'm sure she's a great person. The last person that came on, she's also a great person from the way she came out to look. I just didn't think her outfit done her much justice. It made her look a little bit older. She said she was a primary school teacher. I don't want to be rude, but based on the way she was dressed, it kind of did look like she was a primary school teacher as well, because I'd probably want my primary school teacher to kind of look how she was looking based on how professional the outfit was. A very casual but professional in a way. Great looking girl, of course, pretty. I just don't really think the outfit's done that much justice. I don't know if I'm in a place to even say this, because people are going to look at me and be like, Jordan, your outfit was terrible. But this is just my personal opinion and just my little space to rant. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at the bottom below. Like, comment, subscribe, support the movement of a small YouTube channel. And yeah, I mean, Pop the Balloon was a great experience. I watched the next episode after that. After that, I ain't gonna lie to you, I stopped watching Pop the Balloon as well, because, you know, I was kind of distraught. Like, you know, my intention was to go in there, find love of my life. Do you know what I mean? I told everybody in the group, like, I went home wifeless, literally, because my intention was to go there and get a wife. And I'm like, damn. Based on the way people were dressed on episode 3, the lady didn't count. Moral of the story is I didn't get the person I wanted to get, so I'm like, okay, yeah. But that's my little rant. Hopefully in another video you'll see me actually respond and react. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. This is the 5th video of the day. I'm going to try and keep this marathon going. And ciao, that's my little reaction to Pop the Balloon.